Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Real United States, and thanks for joining us here for our first Q&A segment. I had started this on Sunday. I gave out an invitation, people to write in questions, and a lot of you did, and thank you very much. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to do this at least once a week, in addition to some other new segments we're going to do. So let's just jump right into it. I've got a list here. And first question, Richard Prochowski. Richard and I went to high school together long time ago. So Richard, thanks for sending a question. Richard wanted to know about sending in some pics from the interior of the Washington Monument. Now, we've done a little research. As near as we can tell, this is acceptable. The reason I say that is because not all of the monuments allow video to be taken on the interior. It's our understanding the Jefferson Memorial, for example, you can't film within the columns of the memorial. So as far as we know, this is a possibility, and of course we're going to ask to be certain when we get there. When we'll get to that, I don't know exactly when. I haven't put it on the schedule yet. And so, yeah, this summer. I've never been up to the top of the Washington Monument. Ought to be a neat experience, and I'd certainly like to get you some panoramic views from up the top of that bad boy. So, Richard, yeah, I will see what I can do. So, thanks a lot. Next one, number 2. This comes from Felix Malchinski. Felix, one of our subscribers, fan from up in Quebec, in Canada. And he's asking about Dulles Airport. And Felix, a big fan of aircraft and trains, and wants to know if I can do a video about the Airbus 380. I'm going to have to go ahead, Felix, and I'm going to have to look up what an Airbus 380 looks like specifically so I can identify one. We haven't done any videoing out at Dulles. It's kind of crazy in there. It's very tough to get in and out. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of lanes, a lot of people. But yeah, if I could figure out how to identify an Airbus 380 on site, then sure, why not? So thanks, Felix. And longtime subscriber, Superman21986. Good to hear from you, man. Oh, what's his question? Wants to know if I would consider visiting other countries. Yeah, I would. The only other nation that we've been in personally is in Canada. Always enjoyed our time with our neighboring nation up in Canada. Certainly we've talked about traveling overseas. I'd love to go see my friends in Bashkortostan, and hell, for that matter, I'd like to go see a lot of our longtime fans from Europe and from the Pacific Rim. So we would consider it. I don't know when that's going to be practicable. But it's certainly something we would like to do. So thanks for writing in the question. Okay, this username I'm going to have a little trouble with, so I apologize if I mispronounce it. But it looks like Salsa Flash. This isn't a question so much as a request. They'd like to see some classic Americana on our channel from the old days, including Native American craft and tradition. Well, I don't know in this part of the country about being able to film Native American culture. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, I'm just not aware of it at this point. Now, certainly Americana, the very historical part of the country, and especially Annapolis, Maryland, which is only about, I don't know, half hour, 45-minute drive from us, and which served as the state capital of Maryland at one, well, it is the state capital of Maryland. No, it served as the national capital for a short period in our history, if I remember correctly. And there are some beautiful, beautiful colonial era structures still there in the heart of Annapolis. So those sorts of things in terms of Americana, we intend to get to by and by, hopefully this summer. The Native American cultures and arts, I'll certainly look into. I don't know what is available in this part of the country. Certainly in other parts of the country, it's more prevalent. There's more Native Americans in that part of the country. I don't know that there are here. We'll check into it. So we'll see what we can do. Thanks a lot. Next, question 5 comes from our friend down in Florida. This is from Mom Bear. Hey, Mama Bear, how you doing? Thanks for supporting this Q&A. Okay, she wants to know, do you miss your boat? Or is this the best thing you've ever done and enjoy? Okay, I got to give you all some background. At one point when we've lived in Florida, and we've lived there several times, Beverly and I lived on a boat. Now, a good portion of the time, we lived on a boat for about 3.5 years. A couple of different boats, actually. And actually, I wrote a book about our adventures of living on a boat. And if I remember, I'll try and post a link to that down in the description in case you want to buy my book. So we lived in the marina in Titusville, Florida, for 3.5 years on a boat. Do I miss it? Yes and no. It was a very comfortable life in certain ways and a very hard life in others. I mean, we had this boat that had no air conditioning in Florida, and we, during the summer it got to be about, 120 degrees or so inside the boat. But it was a very nice atmosphere. The people we lived around who lived in the marina, a lot of great folks. We met so many interesting, cool people, and of course the yachters who came in and out from around the world. We met a lot of interesting people from Europe and from New Zealand and all over the place. So yeah, there are aspects about it that I miss. And there are aspects about it that I don't. I really do enjoy what I'm doing now, Mama Bear, and I'm glad that I had that experience. I think we're both glad we had that experience. And yes, I think I would do it again, maybe on a little bit smaller boat this time. But I think I would do it again, but not anytime soon, because I am having an awful lot of fun. I do enjoy doing the videos. I do enjoy all the places we're visiting on land. And I enjoy so much the interaction with people all over the world now that are communicating with us and interacting with us. So I hope that answers the question. I miss it, but it doesn't tug at the heartstrings that bad. So thanks a lot. This is a pretty straightforward one. This one comes from our friend Merriweather. Now, Mary has a YouTube channel. She's from the great state of Missouri. Or Missouri, if you're from Missouri. And I'll put a link to her channel down below. Go check her out. She's a really sweet girl, just a lovely, lovely human being. And I look forward to her vlogs. And Mary wants to know, what is my favorite charity? I gave this some thought after you sent me the question, Mary, and I really have to say that I think, it's kind of a toss-up between two, and they're well known. It's the Salvation Army and Goodwill. I think those are great charities, which Deb and I support, both material goods and financially. And I think they do a lot of good. They employ a lot of people. They provide a lot of inexpensive goods to people. I think they just do a lot of good in the world. So those two are tied for my favorite charity, and that would be, Salvation Army and Goodwill. So great question, Mary. Everybody, check out her channel. Thanks a lot. And next question, 7. This comes from Elizabeth Campbell. You may remember Elizabeth as actually a guest host here on The Real United States. Almost a year and a half ago, we did an episode on music education in America, and Elizabeth hosted that. Very proud of that young lady. So Elizabeth, thanks for sending in a question. And of course, she sent me a math question. How much time do you think you've spent editing all of the episodes you've done so far? the amount of time we spend now is less than what we used to spend because I've become more adept at video editing and audio editing. So there was a time where I would spend 4 hours to get 15 minutes of film. Now I may spend an hour or even sometimes less, depending on if we did our job right. If we got good, clean audio and good, clean video, it goes very quickly. And we've posted 220 some videos, no less than an hour a piece, I suppose, on average. We'll say 2, so probably pretty close to 500 hours, about a quarter of a work year. That is what I've invested in both audio and video to put them together, to compile them, to upload them, to write all the descriptions and put in all the keywords and oh Lord, yeah, it's at least 500 to 600 hours, I would say, for the number of videos we've done just for this channel. So, thanks, Elizabeth. I appreciate it, sweetie, and I hope that answers your question. Okay. My buddy Joel Ben, you saw him. He actually came up here to the area recently. We met down in D.C. and just a couple of weeks ago, and had an impromptu meetup down by the cherry blossoms and the basin. It's the catch basin in Washington, D.C. And I will also list his channel down below. And he wants to know, do you guys have a dream location for an episode you'd like to do in the future? Yeah, I got a lot of them, actually. Spoiler alert. We would very much like to do some parts of the country much further away from what we've done thus far. That's certainly a biggie. And we've been discussing the possibility of doing a whole series of episodes in California later this year or early next. Because there's some really cool stuff. I mean, I would love to do an episode in Sequoia National Forest, Redwood National Forest. Bev has never seen the Pacific Ocean. I have. She hasn't. So anything down on the beach in Santa Monica would be, I think, something that I would really like to do. So yeah, I think that the dream location would probably be at this point. I mean, obviously, eventually, maybe next year, maybe in season 4, I guess it'll be. I would love to be able to do take a week and shoot a whole bunch of episodes in our 50th state in Alaska or Hawaii. Hawaii. I know Hawaii's a 50th state, folks. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, aside from the fact that it'd be really groovy to take a Hawaiian vacation for a week, I think it would be really interesting to go and video some of the things, because the whole state is just so much geographically different and even culturally different than much of the mainland. So those are definitely dream locations. So I hope I'll be able to get to do that for you guys. So thanks, Joel. Last but not least, this one was the last question to come in, and this really touched me. This comes from Ellen Pendola. And Ellen, I got to tell you, your comment really, really touched me. She would like to, this again is more of a request than a question. And she would like to know if we might go to Mount Vernon and to Jefferson's home, which is Monticello, and do some videoing from those spots. Well, Alan, like I said, the good news is we do have plans. We don't have a schedule, but we do have plans to do at least Mount Vernon. I did a little bit of research since I got your question. I believe that there are no restrictions on videoing inside. Now, the reason I'm kind of paranoid about this inside-outside thing is that, again, many of the monuments don't allow you to video inside, and I know for a fact that President Madison's home at Montpelier does not allow photographs or videography inside of the mansion. You can video outside on the grounds anywheres, but not inside the building. So we're cautious to make sure we don't get ourselves in any trouble or violate any rules. So we haven't checked in on Monticello yet to see if there's any kind of restrictions about filming inside, but to the best of my knowledge, we can film inside of Mount Vernon, and that's something we're hoping to get to soon. I don't know how soon. It is on the shot list, but it hasn't been given a scheduled date yet. So yeah, absolutely. These were places that Ellen has visited in the past, but is not able to now, and would like to see and see if they've changed anything. Certainly, these are both places we've never visited. I've been past Mount Vernon down the highway, but I've never been in there, and I've seen pictures of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And obviously, being the home, the farm of our first president, I would definitely like to go in and see it. There is another facility, just another, I don't know, 5 miles down the road or so, and it is George Washington's grist mill and distillery. And again, I don't know if there's restrictions about filming indoors, but this is a place. This is also on our shot list. So surprise, surprise, we have another closely related place that we're hoping to do an episode from. That's just down the road from Mount Vernon. So thank you, Ellen. I appreciate that. I thank you to everybody for writing in your questions. Now, what I would like to know is down in the comments. I'd like to know if you like this sort of thing. I'm going to keep doing it anyway, but I'd like to know whether you like it or not. And additionally, if you have more questions, or you're watching this and you didn't write in a question last time, or you just want to say hi, you got a comment, whatever, put that down in the comment stream below, and I'm going to take all the questions and I'm going to use those next week for our Q&A episode. And of course, you can also write your questions in on Facebook, on our Facebook fan page, on Twitter, or you can email us directly at, and this should be right above my head right about now, realunitedstatesvlog@gmail.com. Is it there? Yeah? Okay, good. And email is not my preferred method, but, you know, whatever. However you feel comfortable getting in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. And ask away, folks. And let me know what you think of this on top of it. So thanks for joining us here on The Real United States. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you'll pick subscribe and join us if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching.